got to the main shaft now on our 6-speed rebuild, and the main shaft's the top shaft. We have a few gears sliding onto it, and a couple of selectors, so the gears actually slide back and forth on the shaft, and there's two facing that way. So what I've done, I've taken the snap ring off here. That snap ring sat in there, and reading the manual it said that this bearing has to come off that way because as this is a gear more this side, the teeth are slightly larger. And look, on mine it looks the same, but anyway, look, that's what they've told us, so we'll go with that. So for the moment I'll race over, I'll press one bearing off, one bearing on. I won't show that, you've seen that 100 times, and I'll be back in a minute. Well, I've gone and fitted the bearing. There's the old one there. You can hear, I'll hold it up to the microphone there for you. You can hear the rattle in that. This is just like new. Now it's shielded, it's got tin both sides. So I'm going to leave it like that in this instance. But we might put a bit of oil on here and put some bearings in the housings, and we'll go over to the gearbox. I've got the gearbox over near this bench now in different lighting. So hopefully we can get a better run with the lighting. We'll see how we go. Well, we're back over the gearbox here. This is the back of the gearbox. This is the bell housing. I'm trying to look through a monitor. There's actually a video, a YouTube channel called Tin Barn Workshop, Lee Peden, and he's got a wireless setup on his camera now that you can Wi-Fi that across to a monitor up on the wall, so you can actually see what things are looking like. So boy, that's a good idea. Don't be surprised if you see that coming up. Okay, the shaft comes in from the back here, so we'll put a fair bit of oil on it just to give everything a fighting chance when we slide the gears on. Now the first gear is the smaller one of the two. Now it goes to the back. And that slides on there. And because we have a small gear down here, well, the big one then goes there. But look, what I best not forget to do is put the bearing in the housing at the front here. I'd almost forgotten that. So that when I've got the gear on the bottom there, so I can't bring it in from the front. I'll pull this gear out again. That'll do for the moment, and as the gear and all comes through, it'll probably slide that up into place. So. Oh, come on. And the running on these two teeth here will come forward and line up with that fella there, so that's okay. Then we just need to bump that forward gently. And that'll put this bearing here back further into the housing, and it'll also put it on the shaft more. So I'll slide a bit of oil in through here just to help it all go in. Now on the back end here where the shaft's coming in, you can't quite see that. We're just going to put a bit of aluminium on the end of the shaft and give that a little bit of a bump back, just so we don't burr the shaft. So there's a slight rusty stain there. So I need to just come through the front with a punch and just drop this back a little bit while holding a little bit of pressure on the back. Normally at the back the high-low or the planetary will sit there. Right, I'll go and get a punch. I'll be back in a second. Bring all that forward again. We can almost get the snap ring on there. I'm having a bit of difficulty by the time I have the camera here and the light there and the microphone over here. I'm snookering myself. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Now, can you see the front? Yes, I believe you can. And there's a snap ring to go on here. And that holds it all in place. Make sure that clicks in properly. Okay, so when the selectors, I must have zoomed that in a bit, wasn't aware of. When the selectors slide these gears back and forth, this will come back and there. So that would be neutral. That would be neutral. With no shafts turning, I think it would be 1. Look, I'm not sure which way with the gears, I can't remember. This would be first and reverse. Coming into reverse there. First there. So anyway, that might be wrong. I'll have to look that up a bit, but that shaft's free to float just for the moment until the planetary comes in the back housing here. And when that comes in the back housing, that bolts on here and stops that shaft from moving back and forth. And it also comes and covers this bottom one here and stops that as well. So there you go. That's the main shaft fitted. Okay, we'll move on to something else.